So we have 17 nominees for this year's award, which is tremendously exciting. Our very first nominee is Samara Nicholas, and I'll tell you about Samara. She's, are you going to, yes, smells good. Samara supported the establishing of 2 this year's marine reserves in the Whangarei Harbour while attending Carmel High School. It became the very first marine reserve in the world to be established by a school. That was the beginning of an outstanding young woman's life committed to conservation and marine education. She is Program Director of Experiencing Marine Reserves and also the National Coordinator. EMR now runs in 7 regions throughout New Zealand. Would you please give Samara a round of applause? And our second nominee is Maribeth Armstrong. She gives most of her spare time to championing conservation of the New Zealand ocean and seashore and promoting awareness of conservation issues to many young New Zealanders, schools and community groups. She is a remarkable, humble and inspiring woman who never fails to inspire people with her passion for the ocean and its ecology. Round of applause for Maribeth Armstrong. Hone Tomonu has spent his whole life by the sea and championed the creation of the Te Tapuwai or Rongokako Marine Reserve in Gisborne and its acceptance by the community, authorities and local iwi, Ngāti Konohi. He continues to campaign for conservation issues and a visitor centre to showcase the Marine Reserve. A huge round of applause for Hone. Taylor Finderup is a 15-year-old who has a huge passion for the ocean. She's fearless, committed and inspiring, a young environmental activist campaigning on shark finning, shark culling, ending marine mammal captivity, factory farming, plastic pollution, oil drilling and dolphin killing. That she's against those things. Can I just make that clear? That wasn't good. Good. Taylor has achieved an incredible amount in just 2 years and her work has been recognised by NGOs, by community groups, local and central government. A huge round of applause for Taylor. Okiwi School has organised a community clean-up of the foreshore around Port Fitzroy Harbour on Great Barrier Island for a number of years. They use boats and kayaks and they do it on foot. Rubbish is collected and brought back to a central spot and sorted. Their statistics from this clean-up are staggering and they bring both locals and visitors together to achieve it. A round of applause for Okiwi School. Dive Otago. They have several underwater cleanups each year. They join others in the week during the Keep New Zealand Beautiful Week, but they also arrange their own harbour cleanups. They advertise widely for divers to be involved, but also invite landlubbers to do their bit along the shoreline. Round of applause for Dive Otago. Our Seas, Our Future was last year's Seaweek Ocean Champion. Since then, they've expanded to Auckland as well as Dunedin, and they focus on community engagement, environmental conservation and education through initiatives such as coastal cleanup events, marine conservation advocacy, and educational programs for schools. Our Seas, Our Future. Round of applause. Experiencing marine reserves. They've popped up several times tonight. EMR provides quality first-hand marine education experiences and initiatives to schools and communities throughout New Zealand by investigating marine biodiversity and local marine environments before venturing to a fully protected marine reserve and encouraging students to take action in their communities. Round of applause. The Pukekura Trust, Blue Penguins Pukekura. The Trust, through Blue Penguins Pukekura, share their expertise and knowledge with both local and international visitors, as well as restoring the habitat and controlling weeds and pests to enable the blue penguins to thrive and the breeding colony to expand. Visitors to the blue penguins leave knowing that their participation contributes directly to the well-being of the penguins and to their habitat. Round of applause. So some of these nominees are individuals and some of them are groups, establishments. This one is another individual, Dr. Roger Grace, everybody's favourite marine biologist. Dr. Roger Grace is a staunch advocate for networks of no-take marine reserves. We heard about that tonight, and pours his efforts into educating people about the biodiversity of New Zealand's waters. He was also Greenpeace's underwater photographer for 17 years, and his stunning photographs are used all over the world. Round of applause for Roger. Great. Kermadec Artists are our next nominee. In May 2011, 9 prominent artists voyaged to the Kermadecs. Since that voyage, Dame Robin White, John Puel, Gregory O'Brien, Elizabeth Thompson, Bruce Foster, Phil Dadson, John Reynolds and Jason O'Hara, and an Australian, Fiona Hall, have created and exhibited ocean-inspired artworks in New Zealand and around the world, as well as contributing to books, educational materials and numerous interviews and talks. They continue to be unrivaled ambassadors for the celebration of the natural, cultural and connecting values of our ocean. A round of applause for the Kermadec artists. Ant Smith. Ant is a fisherman of more than 20 years and he's consistently shown leadership in the fishing community to protect seabirds and encourage sustainable fishing practices across the industry. He's a role model for others in the industry and is passionate about ensuring the impacts of fisheries are minimised to ensure healthy seas and conservation of rare species. Round of applause for Ant. The Russell Open Aquarium Steering Group. Now, Gary Morris, a local Russell resident, ex-commercial fisherman and ferry skipper, has been involved in marine reserve promotion in the Bay of Islands for years. He wanted to have a marine reserve just off Russell Beach, but found this very divisive in the community. A ferry skipper friend suggested that he start by just feeding the fish. So Gary set up a small group of others, the Russell Open Aquarium, and now there is the first voluntary no fishing zone in which the public can feed the fish, which is proving incredibly popular with locals and visitors. A round of applause. The Island Bay Marine Education Centre is a not-for-profit education facility operated by the Wellington Marine Conservation Trust. For the past 16 years, they've been offering exciting, interesting, hands-on marine educational experiences for people of all ages in order to inspire people, especially children, to learn about Wellington's and all New Zealand's marine environments. Round of applause for Island Bay Marine Education Centre. Barry Wood of Cockle Bay in Hauraki in Auckland is in his 9th year as a volunteer fisheries officer. He spends hundreds of hours each year, both as a member of the public and an honorary fisheries officer, educating people and talking to them about sustainability and the rules for collecting shellfish. He organises cleanups, campaigned against dumping dredge spoil, and the residents of Shelley Beach Parade will tell you how Barry has saved the cockles at Cockle Bay. If every beach could have a Barry, we would have a much healthier ocean and a sustainable fishery. Round of applause for Barry. Pete Bethune. Oil exploration engineer turned conservation activist Pete Bethune was jailed during campaigns against whalers in the Southern Ocean and continues to inspire thousands of ordinary people to take action in their own backyards. From seal hunts, shark finning and shark killing and hunting of dugong and sea turtles in Australia, to turtle poaching, keeping whales and dolphins in captivity and ocean pollution, he's made ocean champions of all of us. Pete Bethune, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Antje Listen-Klienmas. Antje transfers her passion for the sea to her Maclean's College colleagues and students alike. Young people should not be made to feel powerless and depressed about the mess previous generations have made of their world, and she inspires them with her approach in the classroom and out. Round of applause for Dr. Antje Listen-Klienmas. I've got new glasses and I can't see half the words on the page, so I'm a little scrambled tonight, but they are our 17 nominees, which is very exciting. To announce the winner, would you please welcome the Deputy Chair of the New Zealand Coastal Society, Hugh Lear-Snyder.
Kia ora, people. It's a real pleasure to be here on behalf of the New Zealand Coastal Society to announce the winner of the Seaweek Oceans Champion. Before I do, I'd just like to acknowledge the other panel members and thank them very much for sharing their stories, their insights and their wisdom. Tonight has been a fantastic night, and Mel's, congratulations on pulling together such a talented group. Michelle, I'm going to go home and tell my wife how enjoyable tonight was, and a part of that enjoyability has been listening to you, but I will refrain from suggesting that she does 12.5% less. I should do. The New Zealand Coastal Society has been around since 1992, and its members constitute a really wide range of people who have a real passion for the coast, and those are engineers, planners, scientists, and community people. So, over that 23 years, there's a real passion within our society, and I'd like to encourage people to Google New Zealand Coastal Society, and if you feel so inclined, to join it. Our mission and vision emphasise the need for robust discussion, for dialogue around coastal issues, and to manage our coast. We emphasise the need for management which is based on sound science, engineering and policy practice, but involves communities. And so it's been a pleasure to hear of many of the activities that have taken place by many of the nominees for tonight's award. So without any further ado, I would like to announce, if I can break into this envelope, the winner of the Seaweek Ocean Champion for 2015. And the winner is Pete Bethune. I understand there's a representative here of Pete tonight, and
Scott actually nominated him and asked me before I came today if I would accept the award if they won. And I did ask if there was a message that they wanted to pass on. And it was pretty much the same that I would have said. And every single person that was nominated, and most of you guys in this room as well, are ocean champions. There isn't just one. And Pete would have been here tonight, but he's currently in Asia doing what he does and doing conservation. But I did wear some camo because he would have been wearing his camo to accept. Those who know him would get that joke. So on behalf of Pete, I'd like to say thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Pete Bethune. Thank you for accepting that on his behalf, and thank you for presenting the award, Hugh. Give me your number and I'll phone your place and have a wee chat with your wife. So, good, that's us.